During the last presidential debate of the 2020 election season, and I think we're all thankful for that, Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez was name-checked by the President of the United States in talking about climate policy. In fact, I've got a video here showing one of those moments. Let's take a look.
If you look at his plan, his environmental plan, you know who developed it? AOC +3. They know nothing about the climate. I mean, she's got a good line of stuff, but she knows nothing about the climate. And they're all hopping through hoops for AOC +3. Look, their real plan costs $100 trillion.
All right, so you could see Joe Biden kind of laughing at that. It was like, there's a reason that he's laughing at that. For one, Donald Trump is a clown. And for two, let's be fair, Joe Biden wants nothing to do with the Green New Deal. In fact, he's out there continuously saying things like, or tweeting things like, we're not banning fracking. Fossil fuels are going to be here for a very long time. You know, the Green New Deal is actually incredibly popular, right? No, he's still saying, no, oil companies, gas companies, don't worry, you're going to be here for a very long time. Joe Biden guarantee. Oh, it's so frustrating to be a leftist and to have to still defend Joe freaking Biden. But okay, anyway. So let's get back to AOC, right? So apparently she knows nothing about the climate. According to Donald, knows nothing about the climate. I know everything about the climate. I know everything about wind. No, you don't. No, it's very obvious. And look, here's the thing. Even if it were true that Donald Trump knows a lot about the climate, where AOC does not, understand that AOC is a congresswoman, right? A public servant. And so it doesn't really matter how much she personally knows about the issue. What matters is that she does the right thing legislatively. That's going to do the most good for her constituents. And of course, the Green New Deal is a massive, massive undertaking, which would create millions of good-paying, sustainable jobs and also be great for the environment. Well, that would help out not just her constituents, but it would help her constituents out quite a bit. But also would help a lot of people. It would be a great thing to do, the Green New Deal. And not only that, but the Green New Deal is backed up by scientific consensus. So you got to rule when it comes to facts. You've got to legislate based on factual information. And so it doesn't matter how much AOC may or may not know about the climate. And she knows a lot more than Donald Trump, obviously. What matters would be, again, legislating by scientific consensus on the issues. The scientific consensus is climate change is real and it's a big problem, and we need bold plans to deal with it. And that's the way that I would want my, legislators to come at an issue armed with the facts. That's just me. Okay. Obviously, Republicans don't like the facts. They're not interested in that and want to continue to push oil, coal, natural gas. And of course, to be fair, the Democrats also want to push at least natural gas. And so, for the foreseeable future. Okay. So that said, how do we do that? Green New Deal. Most ambitious plan out there. Biden, as I mentioned before, does not support the Green New Deal. Biden's proposal does include moving all electric power off fossil fuels by 2035, increasing energy efficiency by upgrading 4 million buildings. That's part of the Green New Deal, right? Part of the Green New Deal is upgrading a lot of our infrastructure to be much more energy efficient. And so that's good. That's fine. Installing more solar panels. In this case, the Biden administration would want to install 500 million solar panels. All right, in the next 5 years. And shift major cities towards zero-emission public transportation. Again, the stuff that Biden wants to do is not like super bold or controversial. It's basically your small, a little bit of change, common sense kind of stuff, right? And I'm not saying that the Green New Deal is not common sense. Don't misunderstand me on that. The Green New Deal makes much more sense than doing things at a more, and I can't even think of that word right now, incremental approach. I think we need to be bold. I think we need to go and just, do the Green New Deal because it is going to create millions of great new, green new jobs in these industries, while phasing out some of the worst industries and offenders when it comes to the climate. So, anyway, there's that. Now, that said, during this debate, AOC took to Twitter to correct the president. Here's what she tweeted. And I love her Twitter takedowns, by the way, because they're always fantastic. Here she says, it's actually AOC plus 115, not just 3, because that's how many House and Senate members have co-sponsored the most ambitious climate legislation in American history. Yes, and that's because they actually realized that we need this to protect civilization, human civilization. Here's what she also said. If someone told me 3 years ago, while I was waitressing to help my family stay afloat, that in a few short years an unhinged president of the United States would be repeatedly saying my name at a 2020 debate, I would have brought them some water and told them to sober up. It is kind of amazing. And look, it's not just AOC, by the way. Donald Trump always brings up Bernie Sanders as well. Bernie Sanders, we know he was legitimately afraid of running against Bernie. He did not want to go against Bernie Sanders because he was scared that he was going to lose. Bernie Sanders would have destroyed him in 2016, also would destroy him now. That said, Joe Biden, he's probably, he's I can't say that he's a guaranteed win because you never know what's going to happen, even with 2 weeks left, before the election. But it's looking pretty likely to have a Biden victory by a pretty wide margin. And the reason, of course, I believe that that's the case, Joe Biden's a weak candidate, but he's got a lot of advantages on his side. 4 years of Donald Trump and his constant chaos, screwing things up for the country. Coronavirus. I think coronavirus should get, MVP of the year. Because without coronavirus, that's a lot of why people are abandoning Donald Trump is because of his disastrous, and the Republican Party as well, their disastrous response to the COVID-19 crisis. And so MVP, coronavirus, without that, I think Joe Biden would have a little bit more of a difficult path to becoming the next president of the United States. And so lucky for Biden, everything just happens to work out in his favor. But if things had been differently, had gone differently, I think Bernie Sanders still would have been a much better contender because of the fact that he has specific policy proposals, not afraid of being called a socialist, which they were going to call him anyway because they're calling Joe Biden a socialist. And so he would have at least been like, no, yeah, I kind of am. I'm a democratic socialist. Here's what that means. Instead of being Joe Biden and running away from it. I'm just saying. All right. That said, I love this tweet because, again, she's right. Who would have thought that this one person would make such a splash in Congress, and not only in Congress, but also in pop culture? Again, she's somebody who has been able to draw over 400,000 live viewers on Twitch to have her watch, to watch her play video games, essentially. That's amazing. That's huge. She has got the, third most watched live stream on the entire platform. Not only that, but she pushes these good ideas, these popular ideas, pushes them into the mainstream. She helps to shape the discussion. She did not remain quiet as a freshman congresswoman. And so, all of that, that's why she's such a big name. And of course, there's a dark side to all that, and we know that, and I'm sure you're all aware of what that entails, what that means. She's been harassed, threatened, attacked online, but also, as she pointed out, constantly disrespected by her peers, by other politicians, mainly on the Republican side, but also, of course, definitely on the Democratic side as well, like Nancy Pelosi. Here's what she said, though, about the Republicans. I wonder if Republicans understand how much they advertise their disrespect of women in debates when they consistently call women members of Congress by nicknames or first names, while using titles and last names when referring to men of equal stature. Women notice it conveys a lot. No, she's right about that. And she is right about that. There is that lack of respect. She continued by saying, AOC is a name given to me by my community and the people. Y'all can call me AOC. Government colleagues referring to each other in a public or professional context who don't know me like that should refer to their peers as Congresswoman, Representative, etc. Basic respect 101. And look, I get it, right? And you can see the president, he doesn't respect anybody. No, not at all. We know this. Again, Sleepy Joe, Crazy Bernie, all that stuff, the nicknames, the ridiculousness. We know. He's a jerk. But there are other Republicans also that are incredibly disrespectful. But here's the thing, right? I think that AOC has earned a certain amount of respect. Why? She worked her way up into power by representing the powerless, regular working people. That's why they like her, because she advocates for them, because she is one of them, and that's why she is beloved. And so I just want to make sure that other politicians take notice of that. Respect is not given, but it is earned, and she has earned a lot of respect. And if other politicians want that kind of respect, then maybe you should start representing the people. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like and share with your friends. You can subscribe and help out the channel by becoming a patron. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf, or you can become a channel member as well by hitting the join button below.